Your parents are divorced. Guess what? They're not getting back together. This is not like a Disney movie where something went weird and the parents are going to come together and decide they love each other. Not going to happen. They're not getting back together. You're going to have to accept that and move on. Do you understand?
Samuel Ramirez walks into court, already admitting he violated probation, and that single plea instantly puts prison time on the table. Now the judge must decide whether this is a case of missed responsibility or a final warning that came too late.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 3263, State versus Samuel Ramirez. Can I have parties announce?
Rick Peña for the state of Texas.
Alfredo Ortiz for the defendant, Samuel Ramirez, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Ramirez? Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Samuel Ramirez who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 3263 for the offense of assault, family, household, impeding breath or circulation on November 7, 2022 for a period of 3 years? Is that you? You're gonna need to speak up. All right, state.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, we're here this afternoon on the state's motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Sorry, maybe I'll put this for 1 second.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you may proceed.
Violation of condition number 4.
Just 1 second. Guys, we're on the record, so if you could not talk behind the court reporter because it makes it difficult for her to hear. All right, you may proceed.
Yes, sir. Violation of condition number 4. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Samuel Ramirez, who then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of July, August, October, and November 2024, and violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. We'll waive the remaining violation, Your Honor.
Any objection to the state's waiver?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there proposed agreement? State, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, state's requesting 2 years imprisonment. This in TDC.
Your Honor, we're asking for the court to alter and amend the conditions of probation. Mr. Ramirez realized that he made a bad mistake of not showing up for probation. He had transportation problems, but he acknowledges that he should have gone to probation. When he was arrested on this case, Your Honor, the victim on the case is the complaining witness is his sister. He was living with his sister and his mom. After this incident, he moved out and went to live with his dad, which mom and dad are divorced. And that was kind of one of the problems that arose, Your Honor, which Mr. Ramirez has mental health issues. I believe that he was scheduled to have a make evaluation, which I don't think ever took place. The family confirms that there's serious mental health issues. Mr. Ramirez has problems holding a job. However, Mr. Ramirez, which he's in court here with Mrs. Ramirez, they're separated, they're divorced, but they're both here. He has
What is his relationship with Amanda Ramirez?
brother and sister,
Okay.
and she doesn't want him to go to prison. None of the parents want him to
So
go.
why is he not reporting? You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Samuel Ramirez.
Why are you not reporting?
I had communication unavailable.
I'm sorry, what?
I had communication unavailable.
What do you mean you had communication unavailable?
Just cellular communication unavailable.
I'm sorry, what?
Cellular communication unavailable.
What do you mean? You did not have a cell phone? So why didn't you report to probation and let them know? You could have got on the bus and went to probation. No, I'm trying to figure out why I shouldn't revoke you. What have you done since you've been on probation?
And
No, have you done anything? Let's start with this. All right, we know you didn't report because you said you did. Have you had employment?
no, but I've been searching.
I'm sorry, what?
No, but I've been searching for employment.
All right, so that's been since 2022. So you haven't had employment since 2022 and you've been searching for employment? All right. Did you do any of your community service hours?
Yes, ma'am.
So you've done some community service hours, or you go somewhere and you work for free. You've done that?
I believe it was paid on.
All right. Did you pay that because you didn't have employment? Who paid that for you?
Oh,
All right. So did you complete the hostility and aggression course? Did you abide by field visits?
no, in person. Oh,
So-
is it include visits?
Field visits,
Yes.
that's where people come out to your house. No, I mean, did probation come out to your house and visit you? All right. So, I mean, he hasn't done anything since 2022 and it's 2025.
And I think it goes back to the mental health issues, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, how can anybody help him if he doesn't show up to be helped?
Yes, well, Your Honor, additionally, at the beginning of this month, we picked up 2 new charges there at large and unindicted cases for assault, choking second, and aggravated assault with deadly weapon.
The complainant, the alleged victim on that incident, Your Honor, is Mr. Ramirez. He decided not to, he doesn't want to file any charges against his own son. He doesn't want him to go to prison either.
Well,
He's in court here also this morning, he's been here this morning, all morning.
all right, I'll hear from his father, but my problem is he hasn't done anything. Nobody can help somebody if they won't even do the minimum, and the minimum is showing up. And he hasn't done anything on probation. And maybe part of the problem is the family, instead of having him do his community service hours, they're paying for it. I mean, if you want to call him as a witness, I'll keep an open mind and listen to him.
I'm not trying to say defense is not being truthful. We can't verify as well ourselves on our end who the victims of those cases are, because the cases being so new, they're not.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just want to, if he wants to come and testify,
I'll call Mr. Ramirez to the,
all right. Hello. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I'm a little hard of hearing also.
Okay, no problem. You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Efren Ramirez.
All right, what do you want to tell me about your son?
He's been a good son until a couple of years ago when he started changing, isolating himself, not talking to friends, not talking to family, not going out, not communicating. I miss my son, but he used to be. And he's not there. So we're seeking for help, you know.
Let me ask you this. Has he always looked like this?
No,
I mean, buffed up and everything?
his smile is gone.
No. I mean, his body type. Has his body type always been like that?
He's been exercising since he was pretty young.
No. But the body that I'm seeing right now, is that the way his body has always been of late? When did his body start being that way where he's super muscular? And let me just tell you where I'm going with this. Let me tell you where I'm going with this. Has he been using steroids?
Not to my knowledge, and I always asked him. He wasn't this big. When he was exercising, he was very lean and muscular. But in the last 6 months or so, he stopped exercising and just eating and not doing anything.
So he hasn't been exercising and he's still built that way
Yeah, he's been
in
eating.
6 months.
He's been eating a lot.
Well, I mean, if he shouldn't be that muscular then.
Again, I work and we have weights at home. And for me to find out if he was doing exercise.
Miss, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to have a seat. Yeah.
You know, I know that he loves exercising and he loves eating. But as far as steroids or any other kind of muscle enhancement, I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, just one moment. Deputy Laura? Can scroll up on that. All right, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So to my knowledge, he hasn't been using anything. He's just big. He's been big.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
Have you tried to attempt to get help, medical treatment for your son?
Yes, I need to go to a health facility and I talked to the director and the director was willing to help. But unfortunately, it was impossible for us to make him come to this facility. And the director said that the only way that she would be able to help is, again, if he was back in here or back in jail, then she will come and request to give him some sort of help.
And when the state says that he had an altercation on May the 3rd, are you the person that involved in that altercation?
And the last altercation?
Yes.
Yes,
And that was with your son.
yes.
Do you want him to go to prison?
I don't want him to go to prison. I want him to get the help needed.
And if the judge decides to give him one more chance and place him back on probation, are you willing to ready to help your son some way?
Always,
And you own a business, correct?
I do.
And you at one point your son worked for you?
Not only work, but I train him to do what I do for a living.
And is that something that you will consider also if the judge puts him back on probation?
Yes, I would.
I'll pass the witness.
Any questions?
Yes, I'm sorry, so I didn't catch your first name?
My name,
Yes,
Efren.
Efren. I'll just call you Mr. Ramirez. Is that
I
okay?
can,
I'll just call you Mr. Ramirez. Is that
yes,
okay?
that's fine.
Okay, well, Mr. Ramirez, has your son ever assaulted your daughter before?
That was the first time that I know of.
Okay. And has he ever been violent or assaulted with you?
I was a little confrontational, I guess, but never physical.
Never physical, so has he ever attacked you with weapons?
No,
Has he ever tried to choke you?
no. I mean, not really. I mean, no, that I know, that I can recall.
Okay, so the incident that you were trying to describe earlier, that happened at the beginning of the month. Can you describe that a little bit more? What happened that day?
He had one episode where I guess he wasn't able to control himself because I brought a friend home
Okay.
and he wasn't happy about that. And
So what
I
did he do
just,
then? So what did he do then if he wasn't happy about that?
I'm sorry.
What did he do then if he wasn't happy about that?
He threw some furniture on the floor, and I just told him that you know what the issue was, and he wasn't communicating with me, so I don't know what was going on with him.
Okay, so what happened after he threw the furniture?
He threw me on the floor, and I told him that if that was a way for him to release that anger, you know, I didn't care, that he will always be my son and I will always love him.
I understand, but you said he threw you on the floor?
Yeah.
How did he throw you on the floor?
I'm sorry?
How did he go about throwing you on the floor?
Well, I can't recall exactly, but
Well, let me help you out here. Did he grab you
yes,
with both hands?
I can't recall, but I know that I was on the floor.
Okay, so he grabbed you and somehow you ended up on the floor.
Right.
Okay, what happened after he threw you to the floor?
He punched me.
Punched. How many times did he punch you?
I cannot recall.
Where did he punch you?
in the face.
How many times? Or excuse me, was it open hand or closed fist?
Again, I cannot recall.
Okay, did he do anything else after that?
Roll around and I started defending myself.
Okay, so you wrestled for a little bit?
Yes,
Okay, and what did you do to defend yourself?
just tried to push him away from me.
Were you able to do so?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened after you pushed him away from you?
He just got up and left, and I was left there.
Okay, you left what, the home?
Yes.
And what's the address of that home? Your address.
My address,
Your wife?
again, only raising his voice, so just, being tough, but nothing like that.
So he's been tough to your wife?
Just trying to. confront
Objection,
her,
Your Honor.
but
He has
never
no
physical.
personal, objection, Your Honor. He has no personal knowledge about what's happened to the
Asking about
wife.
his own-
They don't
Well,
live together.
well, the foundation has to be laid if he has seen anything.
Seen any time?
No,
Okay,
I haven't.
all right. You testified earlier that if the judge granted him probation again, gave him a second chance, he would try and give him the help that he needs.
Yes,
But why couldn't that help be given to him before?
because he wasn't willing to get the help. So I do one sort of a plan or a recommendation to get him the help he needs.
And you think he'd be willing to do that now?
I cannot tell you, I cannot tell the future. I want him to,
You're wanting him to, but you don't know if he wants to, is what you're saying.
that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. I have no further questions. I'll pass the witness.
Any questions?
No further question for this witness, Your Honor, but I do want to call Mrs. Ramirez to.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming in and giving me some insight into your son. Thank you.
Mr. Ramirez?
All right. Do you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Lisette Ramirez.
All right. You may proceed. Yes.
If it helps her, she can put her bag on.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome.
All right. You'll need to keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear and so that I can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What do you want to tell me about your son?
My son is a wonderful son. My son changed after my divorce. Unfortunately, I am responsible to see my son go down this way.
So what is his issue?
My son.
How old is he?
angry. My son is just turned 29 and here last week. I truly believe that I have a great son and he needs to let that anger go. And he can be productive in this life and be useful to people like I am. I take care of elderly people every day. I love people. And I know my children, I have 2 other daughters, and they are professionals, RN, and one in finances. So my son always wanted to be a good sportsman. That's why you see them build up this way. He was about, I think it's been like about 6 to 7 years when he worked on his own, no drugs, no nothing, just eating right on. He never liked fast food. He was always cooking and doing the best he could at home. Between siblings, they have always fights. Of course, he is a big guy. But in his mind, he's always had a future for him.
Okay, but you understand, yes, siblings fight, but you understand he's on deferred adjudication for choking his sibling, choking his sister.
I understand that.
So how old are his sisters?
Amanda is now 23
Mhm.
and Dana is 27.
All right, so he's 29 years old. It is not as though he is a 12-year-old or a person in high school who doesn't understand that his parents, their marriage didn't work out, they got a divorce. So I'm trying to figure out why this 29-year-old person who's standing before me, and he's been on probation since 2022, so that'll put him at 27 or maybe 26. Why is it a 26-year-old cannot report to probation, cannot do his community service hours? And he told me he didn't do his community service hours. His father paid it off for him at $7.25 per hour. So he hasn't done anything on probation. The only thing he has done, based upon the testimony that I've heard, is perhaps, and I'm not taking it as 100% true, but perhaps pick up new charges. That's all he's done. And they're violent charges. And the violence he has is against people who he claims that he loves. I'm assuming he loves them. So I don't understand. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. And the fact that you are divorced and maybe he took divorce hard, he's 29 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, I'm trying to figure out why this is happening.
So I want to give you an example. Lately, he was living with his dad, but when he was living in my house, I gave him a present for Christmas. It was a nice scarf and a picture of him and I together on the good times. And when I entered his room, my son switched the picture and it was the family together. When he was younger, we were at the Dodgers Stadium because we live in California. So I knew that my son, who is hurting, is still hurting, has that anger that we're not together as a family. His sisters move up and he stayed behind. I guess we weren't enough supported to my son when he needed it the most. My son is depressed. He doesn't get out like any 20-year-old. Everybody wants to go out party, not my son. My son is in a dark room or either on his phone, watching TV. Nothing motivates my son. This is not normal. I truly believe there is something that my son needs that needs to be balanced in life. And I'm sure there is something out there. I am praying to God that there is, because my son does not believe in jail. I am asking for help. I'm devoted to take care of people. So I'm not expecting, but I'm hoping that my son gets to be somebody. I've been contacting people about, what is it called, Dianetics, to see what can benefit my son, reading a book that can lift my son so that he can be somebody, improve the world, that he can be whatever he wants to be in this world.
Are you willing to accept your son into your house?
I love my son, and I cannot see my son on the street begging for money when he has a home, when he has parents that can fight for him.
All right, so let me just stop everybody right here. If I even continue him on probation, let me just tell you what, he's not going to be living with you. He's not going to be living with your husband because that hasn't worked out. And everybody, what it appears to the court is you, your husband, are treating him like the little boy in the photo that you're bringing up. That's a 29-year-old grown man who has not done anything. He got his father paying his community service hours off for him instead of him paying it. So he hasn't done anything. So if I were to continue him, and I'm not saying because I haven't made a decision yet, the whole thing with him living with you and living with his father or living with his sisters, that's off the table. That won't be happening because he needs to get a job. He needs to take responsibility for his own action, and 0 people can help him if he don't pick up the phone. He hasn't called probation in 2 years.
I understood that his father took him several times to the appointments. I don't know that his father had a complete view of when the appointments
No, but see,
but
here's the
his-
thing. That's the thing. You and his father are acting like you all are on probation. You're not. It is not his father's job to see that he gets to the probation office. He's 29 years old. And let's say when he started on probation, he was 27 or 26. It's not like he's 18. And when you come to this court and you're 18, you're an adult, but I understand, it's an 18-year-old. Maybe their brains are not fully developed about the consequences of their choices. He knows the consequences of his choices. And you all are still acting as though I should have done this for him. I should have done. At some point, guess what? It is no longer your fault. At some point, these are choices that he's making. Is he going to be 55 years old and you all are coming up in here 90 or however old you're going to be saying, you know what? He's still, it's the breakup that we had. He still can't handle it. At some point, his choices are his own. It's not anybody else's choices. It's not his dad's choice. It's not your choice. And what I can tell you is, if I were to continue him on probation, he's not living with you. He's not living with his father. He's a grown man. Y'all may continue. So I just wanted to cut you all off from that train of thought that he's going to be going back living with his parents, because that's going to be a big no. So you may continue.
I just wanted to tell you that my son, at one point, he was on an anxiety pill. That was when he was in his teens. Of course, as he grew older, he didn't take the pill anymore. I do have, unfortunately, I have in my family depression, and I have schizophrenia, and I have epilepsy. So I know there's somewhere in the line some imbalance for my son to be acting this way. It's not just we're making it up or we're trying to cover up my son.
All
I
right.
just wanted to bring it to your attention.
No, I appreciate your insight. State, any questions?
Mrs. Ramirez?
Yes.
A few questions for you, if you don't mind. You mentioned earlier that you believe this all began when you had a divorce. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you remember what year it was you got divorced?
I got divorced, I believe, in 2011.
2011. Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel he's been acting this way since 2011?
It's slowly but surely it has, I think. It slowly but surely got up there.
Okay. When did you notice it started to increase?
I started to notice when my son came back to San Antonio, because he had left after, college to Oklahoma and came back.
Did he come back? Do you remember the year?
I can't remember the year.
That's fine. You mentioned earlier that you feel that he's depressed.
Yes.
When did you first notice that?
I noticed when, like I said, he came back from Oklahoma, he got a job. And then he had a very nice car, and he had an awful accident. Well, my son fainted over here by the airport, and his car got totaled. And
Do you think the accident had something to do with his mental state as well?
could have been.
Okay. Did you ever try and get your son help?
When he went to a cardiologist, and they checked him up really quick, but was nothing like really
Well,
mental.
I was about to say, I should have probably asked a better way. Did you ever try and get your son help for his mental health issue in the past?
Well, by that time, my son was already growing. I couldn't take him by the hand.
Did you
That's the
suggest
issue
anything?
we're having.
All right, but did you ever suggest to him that maybe he could use some mental health help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Has he ever formally been diagnosed with depression by a doctor or anything
No.
like that?
No.
Okay. Has he ever been aggressive with you in any way, physically?
No.
Okay. I'll pass the question.
Well, I got just one question. Has he ever been aggressive with other people in the community?
No neighbors, no nothing. Not even the policeman when he came to pick him up. Nothing.
No further questions.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in
Thank
and talking
you.
with me. All right. Any other questions?
Nothing from the school.
All right. All right. You're asking that he be continued, and state, what are you requesting?
Based on the new charges, based upon what you just heard, this case, we're asking for 2 years prison.
All right, and probation, what is probation's recommendation?
Judge, the recommendation on the court summary is for revocation.
All right, the court is going to find you guilty, revoke. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Amanda Ramirez, therapeutic community, $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. 2 years in the prison, and the court will give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? All right, do you have a limited right to appeal? That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are on deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction and affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, the state asked for 2 years. I would have given you 8 because you have done absolutely nothing on probation. You're 29 years old. It's not your parents' fault. It's nobody's fault but your own. At some point in time, if you had a difficult childhood, it's like how many more years or how old must you be till it gets to the point where these are your choices, they're not your parents. You're 29. Your parents are divorced. Guess what? They're not getting back together. This is not like a Disney movie where something went weird and the parents are going to come together and decide they love each other. Not going to happen. They're not getting back together. You're going to have to accept that and move on. Do you understand? All right. Good luck to you. Thank you.
The judge ultimately revokes probation and sentences Ramirez to 2 years in prison, emphasizing that repeated failure to report and complete conditions left the court with little choice. Even with emotional testimony from both parents, the court focused on accountability over explanations. This case highlights a hard legal reality. Probation only works when the defendant participates. What do you think? Should the court have given him another chance, or was this outcome inevitable?
Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm glad we were able to get you today. We were in jury trial, so that's why yesterday was cut a little short with
I
you.
got a question.
Sure.
Since my case is not aggravated and we're down to third, is there any way I can go down to 8 years? So,
So here's the thing, whatever plea bargain agreement that you have reached is a plea bargain agreement that I would consider. But if your plea agreement that you've reached is not for 8 years, then I don't necessarily have the authority to give you something less than that. You understand?
yes.
Okay. Court is calling 2024 CR 007456 State versus Gustavo Jimenez. Can I have parties announced?
Brandon Brady for the state.
Rene Munoz on behalf of Mr. Jimenez.
And are you Mr. Jimenez?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Jimenez, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we have a few amendments to talk about before that. The
All
state
right.
will still be making oral motion to amend count 3 of the indictment, specifically that in between where it says cause bodily injury to, and then hereafter style the complainant, it should read Orion, ORYAN. Summer.
1 second.
Of course, Judge.
Okay, now I'm ready.
Okay, it should read Orion, ORYAN. Summer, like the season.
Mhm.
Sky, SKY. And then herring, HERRING.
All right, any objections to that amendment?
No objection from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gustavo Jimenez, you understand that is a substantive change to the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and the court will note for the record that the state is adding that to count 3, but in count 1, it does have that name listed as the complainant. So the court is going to also find that the defense is on notice that that's the name of the complainant as it appears in count one as well.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right. So now that that amendment has taken place, are you proceeding only on count three?
Yes, Judge, we'll be proceeding solely on count three and waiving and abandoning the remaining counts.
No objection.
All right. Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with assault of a pregnant person as a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
That's correct, Judge. And if I just may speak briefly on
Yes.
that topic, I've been able to communicate reasonably and clearly with my client ever since he's been deemed restored. He was at the Kerrville State Hospital for competence restoration services. In my opinion, that treatment did take. He was deemed competent and referred back to this court. In discussing the case strategy and the possible disposition of this matter, my client has notified me he wishes to waive the defense of insanity and proceed with the plea at this time, as he's competent at this time, and he does wish to make that waiver, and which is knowingly and voluntarily made.
All right. Mr. Jimenez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, no.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? No, well, here's the thing. I understand that sometimes people want certain things, but I always tell people, a defense attorney can't force the state to give somebody what they want, right?
I could have got NGRI since my offense was I can't be in the hospital for 20 years because the offense is 2 to 10.
Now, let me explain something to you, Mr. Jimenez, about the law, because I've done a lot, right? So I've represented clients as defense attorneys, as a defense attorney, when they had mental health issues, right? Now, let me explain to you about NGR or NGRI pleas, not guilty by reason of insanity pleas. Like the public doesn't understand sometimes, the public will believe that if somebody gets a not guilty by reason of insanity, that means that, oh, they got off. Sometimes a not guilty by reason of insanity for a person's client, it's worse for the client in the sense that the length of time that you are supervised is whatever the range of punishment is. Now, on another part, it's sort of good for your client because your client is supervised, your client has case managers. So your attorney, and I'm sorry, I overheard a little bit. Your attorney is correct. So you have 3 counts in your indictment. Count 1 is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Normally, if you're just on your standard probation, the length of time you're allowed to be on probation for this specific law offense is 10 years. But with a not guilty by reason of insanity, that aggravated assault, you're supervised for 20 years, whatever the range of punishment is. So for example, if you're charged with murder and you do a not guilty plea by reason of insanity, your range of punishment to be supervised under that NGRI plea is life. So for you, count 1, you're looking at 20 years of supervision if you were found not guilty by reason of insanity. Count 2, you're looking at 20 years of supervision if it's not guilty by reason of insanity. Count 3, which is a 3rd-degree felony, you're looking at 10 years. Now, if you want to do a not guilty by reason of insanity plea, I don't know. You all will have to negotiate, but then the state may be saying, no, we're not just going on count 3. We're going on count 1, we're going on count 2, and we're going on count 3. So that's where we are. You understand?
Yes,
So are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
yes, Your Honor.
All right. If you're not a US citizen by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and reentry. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, according to the plea, the state is waiving counts 1 and 2. They're only going on counts 3. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 10 years in the prison. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense and state, is that the plea?
That is the plea, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to count 3, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Judge, we offer to say exhibit number 1, including all attachments.
Without objection.
All right. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Off the record for a moment, is the door unlocked?
It's unlocked, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, we're back on the record. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, if we may.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Well, Judge, Mr. Jimenez has been in custody ever since his charge. He's been battling competency issues. He was in custody about 300 days before he got transferred to the Kerrville State Hospital, at which time he was restored to competency.
They can come in.
He successfully completed those days at that Kerrville State Hospital from February 11th, 2025 to July 17th, 2025. We'd be asking the court to grant credit for his treatment that he was getting for competency restoration. My clients did learn a lot, and he has come a long way once I first got the case to how he is now, understanding the court proceedings. He did tell me that he does suffer from degenerative disc disease, and he wanted me to let the judge know about that, to see if there's any way that TDCJ could be made aware of that in advance. I told him I had never made that request of the court, but that the judge here, Ms. Stephanie Boyd, would be able to opine as to that, and he seemed comfortable with that, Judge. But he wanted me to tell you about that issue that he has with his physical health. His mental health has come a long way, which I think reading the offense report, the court is able to grasp a better sense of the things that he was dealing with. But we're asking the court to respectfully accept the plea offer recommendation from the parties, and to give him credit for all the time he's entitled to.
Okay. So after reading the police reports and everything, I understand that there were more issues that were going on with you, that this wasn't something you just did because it was, oh, let me just hurt somebody. So I understand. But you're going to have to make sure that you stay on your medications and not mix anything else with medications. A lot of times people will self-medicate, right? You can't do that because then you end up here, right? So I'm going to find you guilty. I'm following the agreement. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. I know that you were residing with your parents. Are there any minors in the home?
No,
Okay.
my parents are 88 years old or
Yeah,
maybe.
but I mean, sometimes, grandparents end up taking care of grandchildren. That's why I'm asking. So there's going to be no residing in households with minors, no unsupervised contact with minors. And then there is going to be I think I said I'm going to give you credit for any time served. I'm going to ask for the therapeutic community, the mental health unit. And also I'm going to have them put in there that you suffer from physical health issues. Now, while you're at the jail, your medical record should follow you to the prison. And they will also, at the prison, they will do a physical and everything for you. If that doesn't happen, just let us know. I'm sure, let your attorney know, let me know. But your medical records usually follow you to the prison. Okay? And then when you're processed at the prison, they will do a process where they will process you in and they will get all of your medical history, all of your mental health history, and it'll be on the judgment as well. So they'll know that I've said that there's some issues, okay?
I'll have a history of my medical issues in the Kerrville Hospital. too.
Yes. And you'll receive credit for the time that you were in inpatient treatment at the hospital as well. So legally, you're supposed to have that. And Mr. Munoz, if you'll make sure that the time credit is correct.
Yes, Your Honor, will do.
All right. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? It's the document telling you whether or not you have the right to appeal.
Yes,
Did you understand it and sign it?
yes,
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over that, you need to speak to an attorney, okay?
yes.
And when you're released from custody, we're off the record, when you're released from custody, I know you're probably gonna want to go back and stay with your parents.
Hmm.
So it'd probably be best for you if you talk to them or talk to your brother beforehand and find out if the persons who were complainants in this case are still there, because you don't want to have any problems, okay?
No, I don't wanna live over there
Okay,
at all. We live in another place.
all right. Well, make sure you stay on your medications, and if for some reason there's some side effects, you got to let the doctors know you're experiencing side effects, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Oh, you too. Bye-bye. We're gonna go on the record. Court is calling 2024 CR 6058, State versus Lindsay Lorraine Hernandez. Can I have parties announce?
Renee Munoz on behalf of Ms. Hernandez.
And are you Miss Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. I remember you. How are you doing?
I'm good, miss. Thank you.
Okay. Did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes,
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
yes,
Did you understand that?
yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor. Waiving count one. No objection.
All right, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? In
Yes.
all the appropriate places?
Yes.
All right, in count two, you're charged with unauthorized use of a vehicle. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes,
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
yes,
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
yes,
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
yes,
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
yes,
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
In my opinion, she does.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
no,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes,
Are you a US citizen?
yes, ma'am.
Just one moment. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, there's a $400 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication, and this will run concurrent with 718256. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years, that there be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and felony drug court. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? To count 2, guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offered attachment. No objection.
All right, did you review the waiver and consent? State, you may be excused.
Thank you.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
If we may, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, briefly. I've come to know Ms. Hernandez over the last, a little bit over a year. We have been working through her case and she has been working through some issues. She has been present at all court proceedings. She does use the bus for transportation, so not always precisely on time, but she has made some great efforts and strides. There was a pre-screening done with the help of this honorable court to see about potential eligibility for felony drug court. I'm happy to announce that she did meet with felony drug court, and they stated that she does meet criteria to obtain services with them. I do have that document. I did show it to the state. May I attend it to Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
In discussing the felony drug court program with my client, I believe that she can greatly benefit from it. She's willing to undergo all conditions of said program, even if that entails inpatient treatment, if deemed necessary by the felony drug court. So we're asking that that the court follow this agreement for the deferred adjudication with the condition of felony drug court, and she's willing and able to engage in that program, Your Honor.
All right, and I know felony drug court may be at capacity, so you'll have to reach out to them.
Yes, Your Honor. I can definitely reach out to Ms. Zamaron. I've been keeping in good contact with her when dealing with Ms. Lindsay Hernandez's case, so I'm hopeful that they have a spot for her there. But I would definitely give her any advice and guidance I can with the help of this court as well to make sure she gets the treatment that she needs.
Judge, may I?
Yes.
I was in contact with felony drug court this morning. They are accepting her case on Friday.
All right, awesome.
Thank you.
All right, that is a very good program.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, referral to felony drug court. The court will note that you've been accepted. This is be concurrent with County Court Cause number 718-256. There's a $400 fine. That will be probated. There's to be field visits once a month until she is actually in felony drug court. Proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Do you have any children?
Yes,
And what are their ages?
10 up and 20.
All right, there's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. Once she completes parenting classes, those community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Probation, is there anything else that's needed? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes,
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
yes.
All right, so we're off the record. Felony Drug Court is a great program. It's a tough program, but they will help you and help you maintain your sobriety, but they can only help you if you want to be helped.
Yes.
I will tell you what I tell everybody else. When you graduate, notice I said when, not if. Right? When you graduate, if I'm in town, I always get the notice of when the graduations are. I'll come down and see you graduate.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. We're back on the record. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So,
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Richard Anthony Mermel,
All right, so how old are you?
25, gonna be 26.
So tell me about yourself. Have you had any mental health treatment?
Been on mental health treatment since elementary school through the current years.
Okay, and do you know what for?
ADHD, bipolar, schizoaffective disorder, and PTSD.
All right, and was Child Protective Services ever involved in your life? So you're staying with your mom or your grandmother?
So my grandmother,
And how long have you been staying there?
I had just got out from a detention state about a good 8 months ago. I stayed there for a good 8 months. I stayed there out there in the field for 8 months and then I came back.
Okay, and what is your source of income?
I need to go find employment.
Okay. Have you ever received any type of SSI or anything on that?
I have received disability before. We're trying to get that back. My grandparents are trying to work on that.
All right, do you have any children?
No.
Okay. All right, any suggestions, Ms. Abrams?
It's really hard to suggest that they're still living in the same household.
Mm-hmm.
We can do the evaluations, the mental health evaluation, and that maybe anger management. As stated below the line.
I didn't want to do.
I don't have any other.
All right, this is a suggestion I have. Let's see how long it takes, because a MIC evaluation will definitely take longer than a referral to mental health court. Let me place him on probation, have him do the mental health court evaluation. I'll sign that today. And Mr. Porter, if you can go across the hall or speak with Ms. Ferguson to see how soon they can get that done, and let them know that if he is accepted, we will do a motion for new trial. It appears that the state is not going to be objecting to the motion for new trial. And then they will be able to give him the services that he needs.
And Judge, I can ask for an expedited MIC evaluation. I just don't know how quickly
Okay.
that could be done.
All right, so we'll do, I tell you what, we'll do the MIC evaluation and a referral to mental health court.
Is it like a facility or is it a clinic?
No, the MIC evaluation will be done at the jail.
Okay.
We'll recall you back in 2 weeks. But if everything is done before 2 weeks, we'll have you back before then. So the MIC is a mental health caseload. You're out and about in the free world,
Okay.
but there is a specific probation officer who has been qualified or certified to work with people who have mental health issues.
So,
The mental health court is not with probation. It's a court. And in that court, again, you're out and about.
Sure.
And they help you with getting a case manager to address your mental health
Been to
issues.
this before.
Hmm?
I think I've been to this before, mental health court.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So what yes.
Let's hear,
Well, let's see. Well, they have to do the mental health evaluation first. So we'll see how the MIC evaluation goes. We'll see how it goes over there. And we'll recall it in 2 weeks. So these are going to be your conditions. 6 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine probated. Affirmative finding of family violence. For now, I'll do the no contact with Darrell, D-A-R-R-E-L, Mermea. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Proof of employment within 60 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
Sure.
No unsupervised contact or residing with minors. There's going to be 100 hours of community service restitution. Once he completes anger management, that will be deemed satisfied. In custody, there will be a MIC evaluation, a referral to mental health court, and a TAP evaluation. Follow all recommendations. And field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Is there anything else from either side?
nothing.
Nothing fixed.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, off the record, Norm, I need a 2-week reset date.
Yes.
And you can put it in there as a status for mental health court.
Yes, ma'am, I can do it on the.
Which one do you prefer?
June 3rd.
Third.
All right, so we're gonna be back on June 3rd. And Mr. Porter, if you'll let them know, because sometimes they will say they're not accepted because they're on probation, let them know we'll do a motion for new trial. All right, we'll see you back on June 3rd.
Yes, ma'am.
Instead of jail time, the judge orders 6 years of deferred adjudication with strict conditions, including evaluations, supervision, and possible placement in mental health court. That's a major opportunity, but it also means any violation could quickly turn this case into a felony conviction. The court is clearly signaling accountability and support at the same time. Do you think mental health court gives him a real second chance, or just raises the stakes if he slips again?